Hi, and welcome to my makeshift workshop. I'm Susan. In ordinary times, I'm a quilter. But like thousands of other home stitchers, I have stepped up to the challenge of our time and started producing makeshift do it yourself masks for both frontline workers and ordinary people who want to do their very, very best to preserve our public health in this time of crisis. And I've come up with several designs for sewn masks, but there have been requests lately from people who don't sew, don't have a sewing machine, don't have that skill set, who also want to be able to make masks for themselves at home. So I have this tutorial is going to be about making a very, very simple but useful mask that's every bit as effective as any other cloth mask. And I'll talk a little bit more about how effective cloth masks are and aren't in a minute. Um, but it is something that you can make at home out of a t-shirt. So that's what we're going to learn to do now. I'm going to focus the camera on my work surface here so that you can see what we're going to be making. And this is simply a cut up piece of t-shirt that is about 30 or a little bit more inches in length and about 10 or 11 inches in width, and is cut on a little bit of a curve to fit the face, and then slashed down the middle, leaving a section in the front that's going to be the part that covers your face, to create two sets of ties that will go around your head. And actually, they're going to go like this, the upper ones behind your neck and the lower ones up high in your head. Now, before we get started, I want to talk a little bit about your t-shirt material. I'm going to put this close to the camera and hope you can see that this is a good thick double knit t-shirt. You don't want to use those super, super thin undershirty type fabrics. The other thing I want to talk about is many t-shirts come printed. If you have a shirt that is printed simply by applying ink to the fiber, so you can see this is still nice and loose. It's not, there's nothing plasticky or stuffy about this. It's not blocking the ability to draw air through the fiber. That's fine. And if you have a design that's on your shirt that is kind of cool looking and you want that on your mask, that's great. If you have a t-shirt that has a design on it that is applied with this kind of plastic, you see, I don't know if you can see how stiff this is, you're not going to be able to breathe through it. So you don't want to use that part of the shirt to make your mask. So we're going to do this project. It requires very, very little material and very, very few tools. All you're going to need is something to cut with, and because I have a quilter's rule and a rotary cutter, I'm going to use that because it just makes it faster. A regular scissors will do, no problem. So if you just have a regular scissors at home, you can cut with that. You're going to need something to mark with. It can be pens, it can be pins, whatever you have. You're going to need some kind of straight edge. It can be a regular ruler, some way to measure. It can be a measuring tape. If you don't have a ruler, a stick like this garden stake. Whatever you have, that's what you'll use. We're going to keep this really, really simple. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to lay the t-shirt out on the table. And we're going to smooth it so that the top and the bottom are both wrinkle free. All right. And then either with our scissors, or in this case, just to make it quick, I'm going to use the rotary cutter. We're going to simply cut off this thick hem part of the shirt, like this. All right. Then we're going to measure about 10 inches up the shirt. So you can do that with your ruler, you can do that with your quilter's rule. We're going to cut the shirt at the 10-inch mark. And again, you can draw a line, you can use a straight edge. I'm going to simply take my quilter's rule and I'm going to cut it at around that 10-inch mark. So we'll just do that. Now, what we have left is a tube of fabric, just like that. We're going to take that tube and we're going to cut through it to make one rectangle. And I'm going to do that, well, actually here, why don't we just do it with the scissors, because people may not have a lot of elaborate sewing equipment at home. So all you have to do is just cut it like this. If you have the kind of shirt that, see, this is kind of a tube, this particular shirt. Other shirts may be knitted with seams along the sides, like, for instance, this one, where you see it's sewn together on both sides with a seam. You're going to want to make your cut in between the seams. So what you're going to do in that case with your tube is you're going to put the seamed sides together and you're going to cut down one side of the front or the back of your fabric, and you'll see why in a moment as we progress. So what we have here is a nice flat rectangle of t-shirt material. Now, we want to cut it in a way that's a little bit curved to fit the face. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold it in half, right like this. Oh, look, it says life is good. Okay. And we're going to mark it either with a pin or with our marker. And we're going to measure 2 inches. I happen to have a 2-inch marker on my quilter's rule. So here, we'll just make a little mark right there. And then we're going to leave about a 6-inch width. We want to cut it from the width that it is down to about 6 inches. So I'm going to go up a couple inches here. I'm going to go up a couple inches here. And let's see here. And I'm going to draw a line. It doesn't have to be exact or perfect. I'm just going to draw a line, kind of curvy line, from this 2-inch mark here to 2 or 3 inches above the edge here. So basically, I'm making 2 slightly curved lines, leaving the ends of the t-shirt fabric narrower than the center. And then again, you can use your scissors to cut it, or you can just, if you have a rotary cutter, you can just take it down like that. Oops. And like that. We're not going for precision here. Now, we're going to want about a 10-inch section that's going to cover the mouth and nose. And remember, this is doubled over, so we're going to go 5 inches from the folded edge. And we're just going to mark that, like that, about halfway down and about halfway to here. Again, measure it, don't measure it, whatever it is. T-shirt material is very forgiving. And we're going to make a cut, just a simple straight cut from this dot, 5 inches from the folded edge, all the way to this dot that's right in the middle of the cut edge, which is going to be our ties. Okay, and what we're going to end up with is that shape that I showed you before. Here's your mask. And believe it or not, this is done, and now I'm going to show you how to put it on. So what you've got here is, I'm just going to, it's a little crooked, I'm just going to even it out. What you've got here is a mask that you're going to tie on like a bandana, and here's how you're going to do it. I'm going to put this up again and demonstrate this for you. Take the top of the mask and put it over the bridge of your nose and tie it behind your neck like this. Now, if you have long hair, you're going to want to get it out of the way. I've got mine up in a ponytail to keep it under control. And then you're going to take the bottom ends and you're going to bring them high up on your head behind your ears and tie them like this. And if you've got a ponytail or a bun, it's a great thing to anchor it with. You can pull it up like that however you like. So what you're going to end up with is a mask that covers your nose and mouth and secures itself very well around your cheeks and under your chin. And for anybody out there who's got a beard, you'll have plenty of room in here to tuck that in nicely. And there we go. So that is how to make a very, very useful cloth mask in just a matter of moments using a t-shirt.